Luigi was right. Healthcare costs in America are absolutely soaring. Let's dive into some videos to see how it's affecting Americans.
Everybody who's 25 plus, everybody who's about to be kicked off of their parents' insurance any day now, there's no more healthcare. And if there is healthcare for you, you're going to be paying half of a rent payment for it. You're going to be paying $700 a month, if not every 2 weeks for it, because they're tripling the health insurance next month. Mind you, the health insurance is already high. They're tripling the health insurance next month, and there's no Medicaid. So if you don't work for a company, a corporate job, or if you're not married to somebody who works for both, there's no Medicaid. There's no doctor, there's no dentist, there's no gyno.
So this new change in the healthcare laws is taking effect November 1st. And if you are not covered with your insurance by an employer, you are basically screwed. Like, you're on your own. Prices are doubling, tripling. It's just getting so freaking bad. Let's watch a couple more videos, and then we're going to watch a video that explains what this new law is.
I turned 26 last month, meaning I got kicked off my parents' health insurance, so I'm on my own. Last year, for me, it would have been $100 to $120 a month for my health insurance. I'm looking at the health premiums for this next open enrollment. $400. Just for me, no spouse, no kids. $400. We're so fucked.
It's just genuinely crazy. Like, they really expect us to believe that healthcare costs just magically double and triple overnight. It's not like it's getting any better than it was the day before. They're just fronting all of the cost onto the average American. And the average American is not rich. This is just like completely fucked, dude. And like the people who make millions and billions, they are not going to feel the effect of this. If anything, they're making more money off of it because they're the ones who are heavily invested in insurance companies. Don't even get me started on why insurance companies are private in the United States. It's just completely fucked. But let's watch a video from the New York Times that kind of explains what's happening with this new law.
Starting on November 1st, around 24 million Americans are going to start shopping for health insurance on the Affordable Care Act exchanges for next year. The government is currently shut down as Congress fights over whether or not to extend funding that help people pay for that coverage. If they don't reach a deal, all of those people are in for some serious sticker shock. So the original Obamacare passed in 2010, and it set up this system of income-based subsidies to help people buy their own insurance.
Millions of people will get tax breaks to help them afford coverage, which represents the largest middle-class tax cut for health care in history.
But over the years, a lot of people who they thought would sign up for insurance didn't because it was too expensive. So during the pandemic, they extended these subsidies to lower the price of insurance for almost everyone who bought it.
So people didn't sign up because it was too expensive, and then the Trump administration solution is going to be to make it even more expensive.
This is considered one of the biggest things my administration can do: lower cost and expand coverage.
And then what happened was the enrollment started skyrocketing. It's basically doubled. Ironically, a lot of the new enrollment did not occur in states that Democrats govern. It happened in places that we think of as being more Republican. Signups have more than tripled in a bunch of southern states. These are places where there were a lot of low-income people who worked in the kind of jobs that didn't offer them insurance. They are also states that decided not to expand Medicaid under Obamacare, and so that meant that those low-income people didn't have access to any other kind of government program.
And then now the people who primarily, overwhelmingly voted for Trump are the ones who are going to get screwed over by this new law. If you're working a minimum wage job, if you're working at Dollar General, I mean, I don't know if Dollar General covers insurance. I'm guessing it doesn't, but you're on your own. When it comes to healthcare cost, it's all on you. So people who are low income, and have a lot of dependents, they are literally relying on these programs to stay alive. Some people literally can't stay alive without certain medications every month. And it's just like, oh my God, it just frustrates me so much how people will just vote for someone because they say like certain things and then they're not actually thinking about the actual policies that are going to affect them day to day. Now they will, but it's like a little too late.
Provide their insurance. If the subsidies don't get extended, on average, the amount people are going to pay for their insurance is going to double. But under the hood of that kind of average increase, there's actually quite a lot of variation. For really low income people, imagine someone making about $22,000 a year. That person doesn't pay anything towards their insurance now. If the subsidies expire, that person will have to pay $66 a month. For someone earning around $35,000 a year, their premium will go up by $132. And for an older person who's making a little more, say around $65,000, their premiums are going to go up from a couple $100 a month to maybe as much as a couple $1,000s in the most expensive markets.
Imagine you're paying $200 a month for insurance from the government, and then it turns into $2,000 a month later. Like, I feel so fucked already, and I'm only 26. But imagine being like less than 10 years away from retirement. And also older people tend to be on fixed income, you know, after that retirement age. So you think you're good even when you retire. You have your budget all down pat. You know how much things are costing every month for you. And now there's a wrench thrown in your plan. And you have to choose between like covering your medical costs that are only going to increase as you get older, or just go without insurance altogether. And then something happens to you and then now you're bankrupt because you had to go to the hospital. Let's check out some comments. Meanwhile, Israel gets free healthcare. Yep. Stop calling it Obamacare. It's the ACA. Yeah, I mean, Republicans have kind of labeled it Obamacare so that they can just shit on it. And I feel like that's another reason people are like, they just automatically hate it because it has Obama's name in it, but really it's the Affordable Care Act. I better not see MAGA using ACA. Well, I mean, the video itself said that the ACA doubled in the last few years, the amount of people who are using it, primarily in southern red states. My ACA plan is the reason I was able to go to rehab to get sober. My ACA plan is the reason I was able to have open heart surgery, is the reason I was able to continue with my cardiologist. Without my ACA plan, I would be dead. I mean, that's no exaggeration. I think lots of people would be dead. Everyone deserves affordable healthcare. Everyone deserves healthcare, like in general. Like it shouldn't even have to be affordable. It should be free. But billionaires need tax cuts. Yeah, honestly, they do. We should give them more tax cuts. The amount of people I've had to explain this to in my small Tennessee town is crazy. They look at confusion, fear, and panic on their faces when they realize they voted against their own interest. They thought it would be just black and brown people affected. That's absolutely right. Like they were fine with everything Trump was doing when they thought it was just affecting minorities and immigrants and gay people and Democrats. And now that it's going to be affecting their own pockets and they see their own family members affected where they can't go to the doctor because they don't have the funds to do it. They can't get their medication because the insurance has tripled. They are going to be, you know, changing their tune up a little bit, but it's just so like, damn, you really didn't give a shit about anyone else. It was just when it hit you that now you're freaking out. It's actually so embarrassing for them. But at the same time, I don't want them to suffer. Like they're my fellow American, not even American. It's like they're my fellow human being. I don't want people suffering because that just makes the entire world worse. But it seems like people who voted for him do want the rest to suffer. They just don't want to be a part of that suffering. 24 million losing healthcare possibly and 40 million losing SNAP benefits. So tell me how Republicans care about your bottom line.
I know good and well that the government did not just say that our healthcare is going to triple next month, but all of our taxpaying dollars went over to Israel to pay for their free healthcare. Free! They have free healthcare. We paid for it. I know we did not give them free healthcare for our healthcare to triple, and it's already high.
That's actually so crazy that we pay billions of dollars in taxes to Israel. They get free universal healthcare and we pay every fucking month for it. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. Not to mention he's building a ballroom. This dude, it's so crazy that right now they're building like a $300 million ballroom in the freaking White House. It's like, who asked for that? $300 million to build the ballroom, billions of dollars to Israel. Now he's considering sending $40 billion to Argentina, and all of our costs are going up. And not just healthcare too, like groceries, the job market is horrible. Wages are stagnant. Yeah, someone said 20 billion to Argentina, 21 billion to Israel. It would cost 24 billion to give us housing, healthcare, and school. And I actually think it's 40 billion to Argentina. Cancel and boycott everything. Stand up, America. I mean, we're doing these freaking protests. I went to one of the No Kings protests in July. It was awesome. I couldn't go to the last one because I was sick. But I mean, people are doing the thing. But it's like when this government has control of all three branches, there's really like, you're very limited in what you can do.
Trump hired an IT company that is an AI company to evaluate Medicare and Medicaid health awards, like coverage.
Federal government plans to hire private companies to use artificial intelligence to determine whether patients will be covered for some procedures, like certain spine surgeries or steroid injections.
The health insurance company, they're like the deal prevention unit. All they want to do is figure out a way to deny your claim and to deny care because they're a for-profit company. With Medicaid and Medicare, it's not like that. If the doctors are able to determine what care the patient gets, they have more freedom to provide the type of care that the doctor feels the patient needs. Okay, so now the Trump admin has hired a technology company, not a medical company, that is an AI company to evaluate doctors' recommendations and override them to deny care for Medicare and Medicaid patients. But here's the kicker. How does that company get paid? As a percentage of what they deny.
That part, the company's going to make more money the more claims that they deny, which means you might actually need a certain procedure or a surgery. And even your doctor will agree that you need that. I mean, they're telling the insurance company this patient needs this procedure in order to survive or in order to get better. But these companies are incentivized to say no. I mean, you might have seen those videos on TikTok where doctors are calling the insurance companies trying to advocate for their patients, and it's like talking to a stone wall. They have a script. They're supposed to deny, deny, deny. The more they deny, the more profit the company makes, which means that executives and people at the top, investors, get bonuses and the stock price goes up. The insurance companies are publicly traded entities, which means they have to, at the end of the day, provide value to the shareholders and to the investors. And if they don't get their profits up quarter by quarter, people stop investing in the stock and the stock price goes down, and the people who run the company aren't getting their bonuses. I mean, you know how it goes. It's just fucked. The AI company selected to oversee the program would have strong financial incentive to deny claims. Medicare plans to pay them a share of the savings generated from rejections. So it's like Medicare is a government entity that's providing a service to people, and now they're trying to bring in these private companies to basically like turn it into like a profitable venture. But like insurance shouldn't have to be a profitable venture to be beneficial to people. It's beneficial to people because humans need healthcare. Let's read the comments. Isn't this why Luigi didn't do what he didn't do? We need to stop paying taxes ASAP. I don't think that's the solution, because Medicare is ran by taxes, but it's like the taxes are being misappropriated and they're making us pay more where people at the top are paying less or sometimes none altogether. I'm sorry, how is this even legal to incentivize denying medical care? Because it's the United States, it's America. I'm in the healthcare field. I can confirm our charts are audited by people paid per mistake they find and number of claims denied. And these mistakes can be small as the words used, like saying endurance versus cardiopulmonary conditioning. We need universal healthcare like the rest of the world. All right, we got one more video.
All right, the health insurance industry is an absolute sham. I don't know how I'm paying $1,500 a month for health insurance, but every single person in my policy has a $6,000 copay, which means I've been going to the doctor all year. I thought my copays went towards our premiums and the amount that we had to pay to get coverage. However, it doesn't. My wife just had a serious event. She had to go to the hospital. She had to have life-saving surgery. And we got a bill in the mail from the hospital for over $3,000 for this procedure. And I'm thinking back, like, I'm paying $1,500 a month for this health insurance. I've personally paid thousands of dollars over the course of this year in copays for myself and stuff that I had to go to the doctors for. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm going to spend $1,500 a month for the next 12 months. What is that? Like 18 grand. And then I have to spend $6,000 a person just to get them to cover things.
Deductibles are the biggest scam in the insurance industry. If you're not from the United States, you might not know what it is. Or maybe if you're American, you don't even know, because they intentionally make it so complicated. But essentially, the deductible means the dollar amount is what you have to pay yourself per year in healthcare costs before your insurance even kicks in. So for example, I believe my healthcare deductible is $3,000 a month. So when I go to the doctor, I'm sick, I have to go, get some procedure done. I have to pay $3,000 out of my own pocket for that year before my insurance will even start to pay a percentage towards my healthcare costs, even though I'm already paying every paycheck a certain amount of money to have insurance in general. It's an actual scam. So this guy has to pay $18,000 a year to have insurance, but before his insurance will even help him pay for his medical costs, he needs to pay $6,000 out of his own pockets. Once he reaches $6,000 in medical costs, they'll start to help, but they won't even pay for the full amount. They might pay like 60-80% of the medical costs after that $6,000. It's such bullshit.
So you're looking at, we have 5 people in our family. If all of us have to go to the hospital, that's $30,000 in copays that we have to pay on top of the $18,000 in monthly charges to actually get coverage. As a father of 3, I'm strongly considering canceling our health insurance policy, which feels very irresponsible and wrong, but I can't remember the last time I spent over $48,000 in a year in health costs between copays and health insurance and all of this stuff. If I just pay cash, I'm never going to pay anywhere near that amount. For instance, the surgery my wife just had, if we paid cash on that surgery and we didn't have insurance, it would have ran us about $1,200. But because we had insurance and the insurance wasn't going to cover it, we have to pay what the insurance was going to pay, which is over $3,000.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like at a certain point, it makes sense to just not have the insurance. But I think these healthcare companies prey on the fact that people are scared that they're going to have that, once in a lifetime diagnosis of, cancer or whatever it might be, where, you have to have the health insurance to cover you for ongoing really expensive costs. But in general, You know, I think most people could get by without having the health insurance. It's just, that's the thing. You can't predict when that big thing is going to happen in your life. And that's the fear of it all. And that's why people pay the health insurance, even when it's an exorbitant amount, because we know that if you're without health insurance and you have that, you know, God forbid, once in a lifetime horrible diagnosis of something and you don't have the health insurance, you're basically going to be bankrupt in America. Let's read the comments. It'll literally cost you less to pay out of pocket. Everyone needs to cancel their insurance in masses. The USA healthcare is a scam. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I said. It's a complete scam. American taxpayers are paying $40 billion to Argentina, which has universal healthcare. That's the irony of it all. European here sounds like no health insurance to me. Basically, in Australia, we pay an extra 2% tax. Then healthcare is free of charge. It's amazing. We don't notice they take it out at all. I've broken bones, needed scans, all free. Sorry, USA. 2% and it's free healthcare. Like, that just goes to show you that governments can do it. It's just that United States is basically a huge company and we have to extract all the profit from the citizens. I will never complain about my high taxes here in Norway. You pay 3 times more for only health insurance than I do in taxes. That's crazy. And that's what these people say, like, especially on the right. They freak out and they think, like, oh, do you want to be like those socialist countries that pay 50% of their taxes? You're literally drowning in debt now because you can't afford your health insurance. I would much rather pay 50% taxes on my salary that doesn't even sustain me, and at least I'll have free healthcare. But at least the billionaires got a tax cut. That's pretty much the summary of this video. At least the billionaires are a little bit richer. All right, that's all I got today. Thanks for watching, and try not to die.